Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Oh my goodness. Now, fantasy drafts are really close. You may have actually already had some as well, but Labor Day weekend is coming, and that is the biggest draft weekend of the year. And I'm here to help you prevent you from making some mistakes with a list of 5 busts for 2025. We are, as always, brought to you by Leesa. I'll tell you a little more about Leesa in just a moment. First, let me define what I mean by bust. I don't necessarily mean, oh my God, this guy's not going to have any yards. That's not really what I mean by busts. Essentially, what we're talking about is value. We don't like where players are being drafted. We wouldn't take them nearly as high as they're currently going. And so if you take them where they're currently going, we think they won't quite perform the way that you drafted them. Now, obviously, I'll draft anybody if the price is right. My point is just on these 5 players, I don't think the price is right. And I'm going to start out with my number 5 bust for 2025. It's Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. In some ways, this isn't really about Bo Nix at all, but rather the position quarterback in fantasy football in single quarterback leagues. Whichever quarterback wound up as the default ranked number 7 or number 8 quarterback this year was going to wind up on my bust list, because after the top 5, 6 quarterbacks, everyone else is kind of the same. From QB 7 to about QB 20. There's nobody in that group that's guaranteed anything. Yet because in most drafts, once the average drafter takes all their other starters, they turn around and they just take their quarterback. So the QB 7 and the QB 8, they just go way too high. Nix, on average, goes in the 7th round. I've seen him go in the 6th. And yes, he just finished as Fantasy's QB7 last year, but he needed a world historical run of quarterback luck, touchdown luck, a completely unfunctioning run game to get there. Nix had some really awful throwing games as a rookie. I don't think he has a strong arm. His footwork isn't great. His vision isn't great. I just don't think he's great. I certainly don't think he belongs in the 6th or 7th round, because no quarterback does this year. If you don't get one of the top 6 guys at the position, which I'm fine with, then just wait. You can wait so long in a single quarterback league. You can fill up all your benches with high upside options at other scarcer positions. And then, 5 or 6 rounds after Nix goes, still get Justin Herbert or CJ Stroud or Dak Prescott. And there's just no difference among those players. I think we'll get a regression for Bo Nix in 2025, but mostly, like these guys in this entire video, I just don't like his ADP. The number 4 bust on this list hurts because it's Duck Tats himself. It's Mike Evans. His NFL career started in 2015, right when my podcast was starting. There's no single player we've made more money on over the past decade, as people pronounced Evans dead and done over and over, and we just kept drafting him and reaping the benefits. And listen, there's a lot of depth chart logic to loving Evans this year, too, despite his advancing age. Chris Godwin sounds like he'll probably start the season on the PUP list and missed September and maybe more. Jalen McMillan suffered a neck injury that could cause him to miss half the season. So it's Evans and it's rookie Emeka Egbuka, so why shouldn't we go all in on the veteran again? I get it, I just don't like the ADP. To get him, you have to take Evans in the 3rd round, which is higher than all those years where everyone else was doing the doubting. But last year, the red zone touchdowns were still there. But I felt like deep ball Mike Evans was having a harder time separating, as his speed might potentially be waning a bit. He himself got hurt and lost a month to a hamstring injury. And remember how in week 18, the team scrambled to get him to 1,000 yards? That felt weird, almost like they thought it might not happen again. Anyway, because of the depth chart, Evans could start the season hot. That's fair. But for the price of a 3rd rounder, we need him hot the entire season. I have to take him before Devontae Adams and DJ Moore and Cortland Sutton. I would take Zay Flowers over him. I'm going to pass on Mike Evans. So we'll get back to the rest of the bust list in just a moment, but let me thank Leesa for continuing to sponsor us all throughout August. It's a great mattress. If you've been waking up stiff and sore, you've been putting it off maybe a little bit, it might be your mattress. I sleep on a Leesa mattress. I have for about 10 years. I'm a bi-coastal Leesa sleeper. Their mattress is perfect for me, but also who cares about me? A mattress is a very personal thing. What matters is whether it suits you. That's why, first of all, Leesa has several different mattress feels, which you can explore on their site. And more importantly, they will send you a bed and you can sleep on it for 100 nights. And if you don't love it after more than 3 months, tell them. They will refund you and come pick it up, no questions asked. Leesa mattresses are American made. The company donates thousands of beds to homeless shelters. They fight plastic in the oceans. And the mattress really is great. Find out more at Leesa.com and hurry because it's their Labor Day sale, 30% off mattresses site-wide. And if you check out using the code Harris, you'll get an extra $50 taken off. For 30% off, Leesa.com, and for an extra $50 off, use that code Harris. All right, back to the bust list. And I know there are some Bronco fans watching, and I know you probably think I hate your team. I absolutely do not. I love Courtland Sutton at his price. I really love J.K. Dobbins at his price. But number 3 on the bust list, I've got rookie running back R.J. Harvey. I have a well-earned reputation as a rookie skeptic. That is fair. But Harvey usually costs something like a 5th-round pick. Okay, I can't say that price is insane if you want to take a high upside shot. After all, 5th-round picks who aren't rookies also bust and don't deliver on their value all the time. No, what I'm reacting to by putting Harvey on my bust list is the incredible distance that the market is putting between Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. Harvey in the 5th and Dobbins outside the top 100 in the 9th, sometimes the 10th round. That's just wild to me. The veteran we all think is very good when he's healthy, who was number 16 among all running backs in fantasy points per game with the Chargers last year, he's being drafted as the pure backup, while Harvey, a kid who played for Central Florida, who most of us had never heard of, who has real questions about his ability to pass block, and who definitely has not separated himself from Dobbins in training camp, he's drafted as the pure starter? I can't tell you Dobbins is definitely the starter. I don't know that. In fact, based on how Sean Payton used his running backs last year, it feels like nobody is definitely the starter. And sure, Harvey and Dobbins will rotate. So why would I take the unproven one of these guys in the 5th when I can get the proven one in the 9th? The answer is I won't. I will grab Dobbins from my bench. I will leave Harvey alone and see how it plays out. Okay, let's court controversy. My number 2 bust is Brock Bowers. This isn't about Bowers. He's a wonderful player. I bet he has a terrific season for a tight end once again in 2025. This is a referendum on a very stupid position for fantasy, that is tight end. Bowers typically gets drafted in the first half of the 2nd round of fantasy drafts. He helps you win that position. That's what the ding-dongs who advocate taking him say. You know what? I don't play fantasy to win positions. I want to score the most points, and this is just math. Bowers' terrific rookie season, in which he set the all-time record for rookie receptions at any position, those great stats simply did not exceed the average waiver wire tight end by nearly the same amount as the top running backs and the top receivers exceed the average waiver wire guy at those more scarce positions. This isn't about Bowers. It's about taking the first tight end off the board. It's basically never good fantasy strategy. The same people telling you to take Bowers at 16 overall are the ones who told you to take Travis Kelce 5 overall a couple of seasons ago. The numbers here are just insane. 24 tight ends have been drafted in the first 3 rounds over the past decade, and 4 of those 24 outproduced their ADP in value-based drafting terms. Not telling you Bowers' production's going to crater, though I bet it would go down a little bit if the Raider offense gets a little more varied. I'm just telling you, don't draft a tight end as early as you need to take Brock Bowers. And my number 1 bust for 2025, it's Xavier Worthy in the 5th round. Again, I can't tell you any 5th round pick is like the stupidest thing that's ever happened, because I think more 5th round fantasy picks won't work out than will, probably. It's close anyway. But putting Worthy as a top 24 fantasy wideout for the season after watching what we saw in his rookie year, it's just never going to be a chance that I take. Of course, once again, I understand what's going on the depth chart. Rashee Rice, still don't know when his suspension will happen, but it sounds very much like it will happen. Marquise Brown missed most of training camp with an ankle injury, though he is expected back to start the year. It would be one thing if we'd seen Xavier Worthy be a downfield weapon last year, this guy who was the literal fastest man in the history of the combine. But really, all he did to score points in 2024 was take jet sweeps and catch wide receiver screens in the red zone. And it did lead to 9 touchdowns. It also led to not even 650 receiving yards. On 18 targets that traveled 20-plus air yards last year, Worthy caught 3 of those. Is that not a shocking number for such a fast player? Doesn't it immediately scare you into thinking Mecole Hardman and like Tutu Atwell? So I get why people would be hopeful about Worthy, but putting him in the 5th round, that's entirely hope. It's entirely projection for Worthy to do something we just haven't seen him do yet. And in fact, we have a whole year we didn't do that. When Rashee Rice was healthy in September last year, it was him who got all those screens and slants. So does that mean Worthy doesn't even have that role when Rice is active? Now again, I'll take any player at the right price, but Xavier Worthy in the 5th for me is never, ever going to happen. But maybe it will for you. Tell me down in the comments. What do you think of the bust list? Are you disappointed there weren't some other players? Are you outraged by the number of Broncos there are there? I swear, I've drafted Courtland Sutton and J.K. Dobbins all over the place. I'm not anti-Bronco, not anti-Bronco. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear it down in the comments. I want to thank producer Dave Pyper, for producing these segments all through August. He's the best. And also Leesa for continuing to sponsor. If you're thinking about getting a new mattress, I hope you'll check out Leesa, since they sponsor something that you like to watch, and that's us. Thank you so much to Leesa. I'd love it if you'd like the video. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.